Today, Nigeria police is set again to parade some criminals, some of them kidnappers, and different kind of crime committed by most of them. The one that may be of interest to you, the one that kidnapped his father, collected ransom together with his group, and the group just share him little. Join me as the Commissioner of Police, Frank Mba, is going to give us details of what happens and what they've committed. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, GTV Africa, on YouTube, and on Facebook, GTV Africa Services. Let's listen to them.
Our colleagues from the media, and again, our very sincere and profound apologies for starting behind schedule. Today, we are presenting yet another set of suspects that have been positively linked through series of investigations conducted by detectives from the Force Intelligence Bureau. This is the second parade and briefing we are doing this year. We have a total of 25 suspects who have all been linked empirically to offenses of kidnapping, armed robbery, murder, cattle rustling, unlawful possession of weapons, and other very serious and violent crimes across the country. We have a total of 5 AK-47 rifles recovered with their respective magazines, live ammunition were also recovered, and then a cash sum of 765,000 naira, which was recovered from a lone kidnapper. This lone kidnapper, called Bashir Adams, Bashir, stand up. Bashir, come this way. Bashir Adams is 21 years old and he operates as a lone kidnapper. What he does is he fishes for phone numbers of persons of interest within his locality. He initiates call to these persons, issues out threats of imminent attack, imminent kidnap, and imminent threat to their overall safety and security. And once he gets a person who is vulnerable, he goes ahead to pile pressures on the person. He gives you condition for averting the imminent plan to kidnap you, and thereafter get some of them to part with huge sums of money. In this instant case, he had actually initiated this call to a neighbor in Zaria, Kaduna State, but the young man was smart enough to report the case to the police here at the IRT office. The police worked very closely with them And on the day that he was expected to receive the ransom, it was eventually picked up, and that's how the cash sum of 765,000 naira here before you was recovered. He will be talking to you shortly. Also here with us the lesson from this case is that when you receive such threats, you must take them seriously, but you must not cave in. You must not give in to such blackmail. You must not give in to such attempt to extort money from you. Report to the nearest police station. Escalate the case to the state command headquarters if need be. Escalate the case to our offices here in Abuja if necessary. We will work with you to ensure that we arrest such persons and bring them to book, just as Bashir Adam has been arrested and will be definitely made to face the wrath of the law. If you've been following the news, you know that Ahmadu Bello University, one of our premier universities in this country, has also been in the news, particularly in the last quarter of last year, over several cases of kidnap. Today we present before you four of the suspects that have been terrorizing the university community. We also present to you one of the notorious receiver of stolen goods from that particular gang that have been terrorizing the university. But the very disappointing thing is the fact that one of the security men employed, trained, and paid by the university is actually one of those that have been coordinating all attacks in the university, including the several kidnap of lecturers and other members of the university community. Abubakar Liu is a security man at AB University, and Abubakar Yakubu, alias Dogo, is also one of those kidnappers that have taken lecturers from that university, collected ransoms from them, and inflicted both physical and psychological harm on members of that community. Ishaq Kabiru is also one of those that facilitates the crime in that university. When people are taken hostage, he is the one that provides food and other materials to them in the camp, and he is also the one that purchases or buys of most of the stolen items, including Russell cows. The lesson here is that citizens, whether at the private level or at the corporate level, must pay very close attention to the quality, the background, the history, and integrity of persons they employ, either as security men, as cooks, as babysitters, or in any other capacity at the home level as well as at the office level. And particularly for those that work with you as drivers, cooks, babysitters, gardeners, and security men, you must constantly review the background. You must constantly check to be sure that even persons whom you have earlier conducted background checks on does suddenly suffer a character mutation and begin to manifest criminal tendencies. We've got facilities at the different state CID level to help individuals and corporate organizations to conduct adequate background checks on sensitive set of workers before they are employed, and we urge citizens to work with their local police authorities to ensure that adequate background checks are conducted on this set of workers before they are employed. Another case of interest is the case of constant kidnappings that have been taking place in parts of Niger State. A community called Somfada, specifically in Niger State, operatives from the Force Intelligence Bureau arrested 3 suspects who have engaged in multiple kidnappings and collected ransoms from various people. The gang led by Abubakar Yusuf and Ibrahim Idris alias Naira also have amongst them a young man aged 20 called Abubakar Amodu. When Abubakar Amodu was recruited into this gang, his job included the facilitation of the recruitment of other able-bodied young men into the gang. He did that excellently and he was rewarded. He helped the gang to recruit 8 new members. But that's not just where he ended. He also became the the lead pointsman for the gang, helping them to identify potential victims, helping them to identify persons of interest that have got the capacity to pay. And he did that very well. As a matter of fact, one of the persons that was kidnapped by this gang included the father of Abubakar Modu. And Abubakar Modu specifically identified his father. His father was kidnapped. A ransom of 2 million was paid by his father, and he was rewarded with an extra share of 200,000 naira. Somfada is essentially a Nupe community. All of them that are participating in this crime are all Nupe citizens from the same community. And then again, that raises the issue of complicity by community members. The fact that citizens are not speaking out and the fact that there is need for citizens to work much more closely with members of the law enforcement group in their community to help in bringing crimes and criminality under control. A lot of the crimes that are occurring in our communities are traced oftentimes to members of the community, and it becomes important that community leaders, both at the faith-based level, at the traditional institutional level, at the political level, particularly at the local government level, work very closely with the police leadership, help in the implementation of our community policing programs, help in identifying bad eggs within their community, and work with members of the law enforcement community to weed these bad seeds or bad people out of their community. In addition, we have here with us some members of a 7-man gang of kidnappers that killed an immigration officer, the sister, and eventually took the wife of the deceased hostage. The incident, which happened in Gudu, in Akwanga local government area in Nasarawa State, sometime in June 2020, led the police into conducting very elaborate investigation to ensure that the suspects are tracked. The bulk of the gang members have been arrested. Because we are still carrying out some follow-up operations, we are just showing one of them to you today. Some of the victims of this crime have been enumerated, are also here, and they will be speaking to you. The suspect standing before you is Haladu Usman, and he's one of the key planners and participants in that very wicked operation. He will be speaking to you shortly. We also have here another kidnapping gang that specialized in terrorizing citizens in Plateau and Taraba axis of the country. The gang consists of 9 men. And for a very long time, they terrorized the people of Dengue Town in Kanam local government area of Plateau State. This particular gang places so much premium in prayers, and as a matter of fact, one of their major pillars is Malam Jafaru Umar Suleiman, who provides spiritual guidance for the gang members. He determines operations that they should conduct and the ones that they should not conduct. He advises them on when to go to market, when to move out for the operations, and when to abort operations. Even when ransoms negotiations are going on, he tells them when to pull out, when to take what has been offered, and when to press for more. Malam Jafar Umar Suleiman will be talking to you. In the course of our investigation, he has told us that he provides spiritual guidance not just to only this gang, but also to about 15 other kidnap gangs. So he will be here working with us. On a lighter note, he has equally promised that rather than pray for kidnappers to succeed, that he will now, as a converted and repented person, he will now be praying for the police and other law enforcement agents to succeed. But the honest truth is, we've always succeeded without Malam Jafar. We will not need Malam Jafar's prayer to succeed. What we need is the prayers of the good people of Nigeria, their support, and the support of the government at all levels to succeed. But he actually told us he's ready to offer prayers so that we can arrest more kidnappers, forgetting that we actually arrested him in spite of his spiritual prowess.
Is a native of Dengue.
And just like the case of some father, where a member of the town works with external elements to perpetrate crimes within his community, in this case involving the criminal activities of this gang in Dengue town, Adamu Shuaibu, also a native of Dengue town in Kana local government area of Plateau State, is also a member of the gang, and he works with external elements to ensure that the operations of the gang in his community are always successful. We, as a people and as a nation, we must try to do what we can to ensure that we deal with the internal challenges we have. Change, whether at the social level, at the cultural level, at the economic level, and also in terms of crime fighting, will not come externally. It will only come when we resolve to work together, work with all the positive forces in our community, and work with the security forces to deal with crimes and all those elements that threaten our collective well-being. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and before I round off, case involving the very cruel murder of a 5-year-old girl known as Farida Ibrahim. In my well over 2 decades of policing, I've seen horrendous crimes. I've seen crimes that were committed without iota of conscience. I've seen wickedness unleashed on fellow citizens by fellow citizens. But I am here to find any justification for the kidnap and the murder of this pretty, innocent young girl. This girl was kidnapped by a gang of kidnappers in Kogi State, led by Friday Domozu. They demanded a ransom of 8 million naira from a family that obviously is not a rich family. And while the family struggled to negotiate, they contacted us, operatives from the IRT and other investigators moved into the case, but unfortunately, before we could even get to the scene or get to effect the arrest, they had murdered this girl in cold blood and buried her in a shallow grave. We've carried out an exhumation of the body. We've arrested some of the key suspects. Some are still at large, but we've pledged before God and man that we do everything within our powers to bring all of them to book. Farida is gone, but her killers will certainly not know peace. And like in other cases, Friday incidentally is also from that community. He is from Dekina in Kogi State. And I begin to wonder what has come over us as a people. What has happened to our value systems? What has happened to our ties as citizens, as brothers? What has happened to all the foundations that our parents have laid for us? How come we have all forgotten everything about all the values inculcated in us, in our families, in our churches, in the mosque, in our schools, and even at our communal level? The investigation is still an active investigation because there are some of the suspects still at large. But like I said earlier on, no matter how fast they run, and no matter how far they are, we will get at them and we'll bring them to book. this very sad note that we bring this briefing to an end, and we will offer you opportunities to actually talk to some of the suspects. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your support. God bless you.